This is the Wizard's Townhouse. It's one of our landmark bundles for Lowtown. This is a really fun, characterful building. It looks cool from all sides. So to that end, we built this on one of our 12 by 12 rough stone terrain trays, which is not included with this bundle. But included with this bundle are a few extra pieces over here that didn't quite make it into the build. So you have some other building options, including a few magnetic accessories like the tool rack and the mantle shelf, some narrow walls, regular walls, some ribs. So you've got some other building options that didn't make it in. All right, but let's look at the details that did make it in. So this thing is just fun to look at from every single side. This landmark has basically all of the characterful sets in Lowtown. So there's just dripping with interesting geometry and stuff that's breaking the box and looks noteworthy. So no matter what you build with this, it's going to look striking on the table. So let's take from the front here, from this lower level. So this is sort of the grand entrance to the building. We're using on the front, we have one of the 4-inch soffit peaks there on a pair of the valley roofs, and that's built on top of a pair of the new banister corner posts, which are sort of our decorative corner posts slotted into a 2x4 floor. And then there's the small stairs on front to make it a nice, easy entrance there. It showcases that cool or elegant door that has, it's sculpted in there as a little tiny round green halfling or gnome door. It's not actually operable. The main door is operable. The second one is just sculpted, but it's a great little fantasy detail that Michelle put in there. So this is probably the fanciest way to get in. The least fancy way to get in, we over here under the Poet's Nook, we have there's a little ladder on the side of the building and a door, so you could climb your way on up there. Maybe there's an illusion covering it up. Maybe it's there just for fun, but if it is actually there, maybe there's an illusion to cover it up, and you could swap in one of your window walls instead of the door wall, so it's not there until you reveal it. And also underneath it, we have the LED wall with our new LED Gothic lantern in there, and there's one of the corbel row facades sort of holding up this Poet's Nook, tying that whole thing together. So neat little spot of light down there. Coming around this side, we have the, I guess it's the second porch, sort of where you eat your second breakfast, I guess. And so it's the same thing using those banister corner posts. It's got a couple of the hip roofs on there. These roofs would be biscuited to the side, but I wanted to pop them off so you could show you. There's another one of the full corbel row facades there to help hold up this roof, tie that whole thing together. And then on the last side this is the bay window, and it has that neat hammered copper bay window roof above it, and a couple little steps getting into this side doorway. If you thought there were too many entrances, you could swap that out with, we have two windows available, so you could swap out a narrow window instead of that door if you didn't want an entrance there. So then moving our way up to the upper stories, we have up here on the third story, there is a balcony overlooking this grand entrance with a little doorway to get out there, which is probably definitely locked so nobody sneaks in. And then on the roof, there's a little trap door, which maybe the wizard uses to entertain flying guests if they want to come on in, or maybe they have a familiar that flies up from there. Maybe they just stargaze, or who knows? It just looks kind of neat up there. Moving around the side, we have second story Poet's Nook, or third story, I guess, Poet's Nook, with the diagonal roofs on top to sort of tie this whole thing together. Really neat side of the building. And then finally, we have the real centerpiece of this whole thing is the Dangle Room, which is our fun name for this octagonal projecting room over here, topped off by a little tower and the wizard hat roof on the top. And this wizard hat roof is a really fun piece. So it's two pieces, front and back, and it has these little spires, as well as inside there's a sculpted attic in there with a little chest and barrel. So you can put a treasure or a mini or some sort of surprise in there. So there's even a little bit of playable space inside the tower, so you can have some surprises. Oh, and speaking of surprises, let's pop this thing off. Pop off the roof. Everything can be biscuited together, so you can pull it off as one unit. In fact, you could biscuit the two of these together and biscuit this thing in place and lift this whole thing off as one unit if you wanted to. But this upper level here is probably the wizard's inner sanctum, and you'll notice that they have no stairway up, right? There's no way to get in here, so you'll have to teleport or use magical means, or you could probably break in through the balcony or one of the windows, but it's hard to gain access to the wizard's inner sanctum, as it should be. So lots of beautiful architecture, fun breaking the box geometry in here, lots of character. Whatever you're going to put together with these sets, it's going to look neat. And this one is definitely, this is a landmark that's great to pair with some additional core sets, like a floor pack or two and a wall and post pack or two, maybe some core roofs. So you have some more basic building options because you have all the fancy stuff here. Even a starter set would go a long way with this to expand out your building possibilities. Hopefully this will inspire you in some of the things you can do with a wizard's townhouse.